What's going on YouTube? It's Gavin. I'm here with another reaction video for you today. This is actually a Motivational Monday vid. I haven't done a Motivational Monday vid in a while, come to think of it. Thank you for all the support no matter where you are in the world, in the country. It's Memorial Day weekend. And thank you for your service if you are a veteran or if you're a current member of the military. Because of that, I'm actually not working until, because I usually just have Sundays and Tuesdays off work, and I work like 10 to 12 hour shifts. So, like, this is the most you're going to see me post videos this Memorial Day weekend. And I don't work till Wednesday. So, this is, like I said, this is the most you're going to see me post at a time. So, in honor of the veterans and the people that we've lost, I figured I might as well do a motivational video and on 6 social anxiety tips from a Navy SEAL. This is what we're going to be checking out today. Again, thank you for your service. Let's get into it, man.
Hey guys, Sean Ryan with Vigilance Elite. I did a Q&A a while back on the old IG, and I got a question asking me if I deal with social anxiety and or anxiety in crowds. And I thought that was a really good question, and so I answered it, and it gave me an idea. I thought I would do a video on it. So
By the way, I actually have social anxiety in person. Like, I'm not like, I don't get like freaked out by talking to people like severely, but it just like I get more comfortable as I know someone over time. But it just like in like crowds of people I'm not familiar with, like if I'm in a group and I'm not really familiar who they are, like it takes, like, I'm very introverted. I'll be quiet as hell, like I'm shy as fuck. So it just like I may do my YouTube, but I'm actually in person, I'm really freaking shy. So I'm hoping this helps me, but I'm hoping this helps y'all too if you're dealing with social anxiety.
I put a couple of feelers out on YouTube and Instagram, and I was going to cater this whole thing towards kind of combat vets transitioning and the social anxiety that we deal with coming back into regular society. But when I put the feelers out, I realized, holy shit, a lot of people deal with this shit, me included. I deal with it probably on a daily basis if I leave my house. So, which is why I bought a place out in the middle of fucking nowhere, because I don't like talking to people and I get anxious when I have to go to social functions. So, so I'm just gonna talk about these.
Oh, believe me, if I could get a cabin in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, I definitely would, man.
6 things that I've used to kind of help me power through that shit and overcome social anxiety. So here we go. Social anxiety really hit me hard when I left CIA. That's when it really kicked in for me. I got out, I left CIA, I had no clue what the fuck I was gonna do, where I was gonna go. I had no hobbies other than drinking, and which made me feel pretty fucking insecure, especially when you go to these social functions and it's all, you know, doctors and lawyers and fucking stockbrokers, and this person has fucking truckload of money and this person, you know, and you just constantly feel like you're being judged because you don't really have anything going on at that time. And for me, the 2 questions that I fucking was terrified of is, what do you do? And what are your hobbies? What do I do? Well,
Look, I hate that shit. What do you do for a living? All right, well, I work in the medical field myself, but it's like people identify other people on what they do for a living. And if they feel like they've gotten to a certain age, that they should be having a certain status. Or if they went to college, that they should have a certain job. But look how many people go to college and might even go for like a master's degree and end up working at McDonald's. It's screwed up. But people focus so much on what you do for a living instead of who that person is as an individual.
Wasn't doing anything. I could talk about, actually, I couldn't even talk about what I did. Most of the shit I'll probably never be able to talk about. And that's fucking embarrassing to me. It's, well, for the past 14 years I've been doing this shit, but I can't tell you anything about it. And, it bothered me. And then the other one was, what are your hobbies? Well, I don't have any fucking hobbies other than getting shit-faced from the time I get up until the time I go to sleep. And I don't sleep. So, those are two questions that I would avoid, and amongst a whole slew of other emotions, and things that I was dealing with. But I found a couple of things that helped me out. And I've kind of broken them up a little bit here. Two things that get me through social events still to this day, I still use this shit everywhere I go, is one, I don't ever put myself in a situation that I cannot get myself out of. Two, I need to find things that boost my confidence. Doesn't mean, when I mean confidence, I don't mean you don't have to be the loudest motherfucker in the room and the one that talks the most. You just have to find things that make you confident, which make you a little more comfortable in that particular setting. So let's go through these 6 things. So the first thing that I do is, that kind of helps me, and it relates to I don't ever put myself in a situation that I can't get out of, is I don't do fucking Ubers. I don't do taxis. I don't do Ubers. I don't let friends drive. I don't ride with people. I want my car with my car keys in my pocket. That way, if I feel the anxiety starting to come on and I don't want to be there.
Oh, I don't let anyone drive my car, bro. My car is way too nice. I don't know if you know about car insurance, but if your car gets wrecked and they find out someone else is driving your car, it's gonna go up even if you wreck it yourself. But if they find out someone else is driving it, it's not. No. Also, I say this all the time in my vids. Watch who you have in your life, because a lot of people will take advantage of your niceness and use you, and then get pissed off when you put your foot down and stand up for yourself. Look how many people will use you for your car, give you. I fall in that same trap, man. I have friends that use me because they didn't have a fucking car, and all that shit just hit me up for rides and shit. Like, fuck off. Like, I don't do that shit anymore. It would just, like, people use you because they know that they can take advantage of you until you put your foot down. Fuck that. The right people in your life won't be using you for shit
anymore. I know I can get the fuck out of there at a moment's notice. Doesn't mean you can't take a taxi out of there. Facts. But at least you have that sense of comfort, and which gives you a little confidence knowing, all right, if I'm in a situation that I just don't want to fucking be in socially, I'll just leave. And that gives you a little bit of comfort. You don't have to wait on a taxi or call an Uber or make a big scene. You just fucking leave. So that would be my first piece of, my first tip.
Yep.
Take your own car. If you get drunk, leave it there and go get it tomorrow. But at least you have it. Hotel rooms. As I kind of mentioned before, and if you want to get more in depth, you can click the link above and listen to the TNQ podcast I was on. But I had ruined every relationship, all of them. And it got real fucking awkward, even with family. I'm still rebuilding that, and I still get a little anxious sometimes. Friends, family, everyone. If I'm gonna go on an overnighter somewhere, I always rent a hotel. It gives me my little, we'll just call it a safe space. But if I start getting angry or anxious, a lot of times my anxiety switches to anger immediately. I know I need to leave before shit gets bad. And knowing that I have a hotel somewhere I can go to it comforts me and gives me that confidence knowing
Exactly.
like, all right, if things get out of control or if I'm just don't want to fucking be here, I don't have to make a scene and go, I'm fucking leaving, or it's just, I have my hotel, I go there, I fucking cool off. Nobody even has to know why you're going. Maybe you just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go return some emails. And, or I'm gonna go, I gotta make a phone call real quick. Go over there, go back to your hotel or wherever it is, and, do the whole woosah thing. Woosah. Code words and or little phrases that you can say to a friend or your significant other or whoever, all right? But it has to be somebody that you can really fucking count on, okay? I use my fiance, Katie, my special lady friend. And she knows when I say, this is my favorite song, it's time to fucking roll. I'm feeling uneasy and it's time to get the fuck out of there. And she makes it happen. I don't have to do shit. She comes up with the excuse on why we're leaving, or she just says, hey Sean, I want to go. And then it's not even me, it's her. Now I've got to change it because everybody's gonna know when I say this is my favorite song, it's time to fucking roll. But come up with anything. And it's gotta be somebody that you trust. It can't be your buddy who's trying to pick up fucking chicks at the bar who is not gonna listen. It can't be, the football game nut that's gonna sit there and go, oh, just wait till the end of the fucking quarter. When you say it, it needs to be somebody you trust that when you do say it, they're gonna wrap it up and you're out the fucking door. And just knowing that you have that phrase and knowing that you have somebody that has your back no matter what is gonna help give you that confidence, and it's gonna put you at, at ease a little more. It's gonna make you a little more comfortable. And boom, there's back to, I don't put myself in situations that I can't get myself out of. So find somebody you trust. Maybe it's your significant other, maybe it's your best friend. I don't know who the hell it is, but find somebody, come up with something, and stick with it. Don't feel like you have to talk all the time, all right? I get intimidated all the fucking time when I'm out in social settings, especially in the very beginning when I...
You don't have to talk all the time, man. The best people in your life, you can sit in silence and you still have that connection. Like, you don't have to be talking. No one has to be talking all the fucking time. Like it doesn't just have to be you. It doesn't have to be your friend. Like, just because you're hanging out doesn't mean words have to be said. You could just be enjoying each other's company without talking.
Got out about 4 years ago. It was real bad, You constantly feel like people are putting you down. They might not even mean it, but you don't always have to talk. Quick story. I used to go out to dinner all the time when I first got out. My neighbor's mom, her name was Fern, and she was probably mid-70s, early 80s. She's passed away now. But I really liked going out to dinner with her because I felt comfortable with her. And I would tell her, she would ask why I don't go out more, why I don't, go to these social functions more, and I would tell her, like, I'm fucking intimidated. I live in Boca Raton, Florida, and every motherfucker I meet is a fucking plastic surgeon or a doctor or a stockbroker or a money manager or some badass attorney, and here I am, not doing shit, don't have a clue what the fuck I'm gonna do. I'm a social mess, and so I wouldn't go anywhere. And when I did, I wouldn't say anything. I'm not a talker. And I remember Fern told me, Sean, you don't have to say shit. She said to me, just by you sitting there and listening with your background makes the entire room intimidated. She's like, I can't even believe you're telling me that you're intimidated by these people. She said, just do what you do. Just take it in, listen to them. People love to talk about themselves. Let them talk about themselves, all right? So, and I thought about that, and I tried it, and I'll be damned, I think she's fucking right. So, don't feel the need that you have to fucking talk. Don't be the person that's, you know, blah, 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 that doesn't shut the fuck up. Okay? Just take a wrap off, you know. If you're feeling anxious, then just take a wrap off, stop, and just listen. You know, you don't have to have some badass explanation every question that's asked. And, you know, I mean, if you don't understand something that somebody's saying, tell them. Yeah, I don't have a clue what the fuck you're talking about. I do that shit all the time. And, you know,
Yep.
it kind of is uncomfortable at first, but then when they realize, oh yeah, I'm talking over this guy's head and he's got the confidence to say, yeah, you're not fucking impressing me, why don't you just dial it down a little bit to fucking layman's terms. I don't know what the fuck surgery you're talking about here. So, anyways, that shit really helped me a lot. Drinking. This is the one nobody wants to hear. But when you're in a social setting, at least how I was, is I would pound fucking vodka nonstop. Straight vodka on the rocks. Well, this kind of goes back to getting yourself into something that you can't get yourself out of. Once you're fucking hammered, you're hammered. Which means you can't reverse it. You can't get yourself out of it. You're just there. And I don't know how you guys are, but when I'm hammered...
Look, when you're at a social event, a lot of people look down on someone not drinking because they view it as weird or might judge you because they might think you're a former alcoholic or there's got to be a deeper reason why. You don't have to drink if you don't want to. Fuck what anyone else thinks, first off. Second, now, personally, I'm the type, if I'm at a social setting, I'll drink, but I don't get shit-faced. I might have a couple beers, but that's it. I'm not doing fucking constant tequila shot, tequila shot, tequila shot, tequila shot with like a bunch of people who down in like 6 shots at a time. Because then, like he said earlier, you can't fucking drive, or you can, but you're gonna risk your life, someone else's life, and risk getting pulled over and getting a DUI. So definitely don't drive. So you're stuck there. You're waiting for an Uber or a taxi, or relying on someone else. So you're stuck there. You can't get out. And on top of that, you might say or do something really fucking stupid to make yourself look like an idiot. So in a situation like that, first off, like I said, it's okay to not drink. Fuck what anyone else says, or just say, I don't feel like drinking. All you have to say. And if you do, don't go crazy with it, because then you can end up in situations that you can't get yourself out of.
Nothing really good ever happens. My anxiety gets worse eventually. The anger gets worse, a lot worse, and I wind up doing shit that I regret in the long term. So, take a wrap off. You know, how I did it is, I don't drink hard shit anymore. I don't do shots of fucking whiskey. I don't do shots of anything. I drink wine, I have a couple glasses, and I call it quits. Here's another thing.
Oh, and that's another thing too. Like, I've been in situations where I'm offered like shots, and I'm in a situation where I gotta be at work in the morning. Like, I can't. I gotta be driving soon. Like, like I've been offered them like shortly before I'm about to leave, and I'm like, well, I'm about to leave. Like, this probably isn't a good option, and then I say no. The thing is people get cave into peer pressure after a few you sure's. But if you just say no a few times, people actually respect that. They might be like, all right, more for me. But also, like, I've been told myself, like you, like, no, like, I find it surprising that you don't want to get as fucked up, but I respect it. To each their own, and they move on. Like, they don't, like I said, don't care what people think, man.
I get made fun of sometimes because I drink bubbly out of the can, but here's the deal. It's water with bubbles in it. Now look, I have an adult drink. It gives my hands something to do. My hands are doing something. Part of anxiety for me was, what the fuck do I do with my hands now that I'm not drinking anymore? Well, now I have a drink. It looks like, it's got bubbles in it. It looks like it's a fucking vodka tonic or something. And it gives me something to do. And I pound these like they're nobody's business. But lay off the booze. Nothing bad is gonna happen by you laying off booze. I guarantee you that.
Facts.
And the last thing, get some therapy. All right, I went to therapy for, I believe, 3 years, twice.
Look, I go to therapy myself. I go every other Tuesday. I'm coming tomorrow, man. It does help. You'd be surprised on how many people are in therapy. Some people view people like, again, fuck what anyone else thinks about you, but some people think like, oh, you're in therapy, you're fucked up. No, like you could be in therapy for social anxiety. You could be in therapy for depression. You could be in therapy for generalized anxiety disorder. You could be in therapy because you want to make more friends and you don't know how. Like, you could be in therapy because of your relationships going to shit and you want to save it. Like, it could be anything, man. You have to find the right therapist that you click with, though. I've been to some really shitty therapists. The one I'm going to now is decent. He's not the best I had. The best I had was actually across the state, not state, country. Back when I lived down south for a little bit, but he's across the country, so I can't really do shit about that. But once you find someone that you click with, it's actually going to be very beneficial to you. Try to find someone that accepts your insurance, so you're not paying hundreds of dollars out of your pocket. But it just starting off, it's more like the introductory phases, but over time it is going to be beneficial to you.
Week, every fucking week. That is a lot of therapy. So, and you know what? It helped me tremendously. And I know, there's like the stigma behind it where, oh yeah, I don't need any fucking help. And, if you're like that and you're worried about what everybody else is thinking of it, you're fucking weak.
Everyone needs help.
So, just try it. Maybe it doesn't work for you. I don't know. But I tell you, the one thing that helped me more than anything was going to therapy, getting some help. And it's not all like what you think, where you're like, oh, talking about your fucking problems. It also helps you understand what's going through other people's heads. And when you can understand what's going through other people's minds, that gives you confidence because you don't take shit so personally. You realize not everything this asshole is talking about is directed at me. In fact, I have nothing to do with it, and that puts you at ease. And then you start building that confidence. You understand. You start to understand how the human mind thinks, and look, you're not going to regret going to therapy. And if somebody's going to give you shit for it, they're not your fucking friend anyway, so tell them to fuck off.
Yup.
But anyways, those are 6 things that have really helped me a lot. I still struggle with it, but I'm leaps and bounds where I was. And anyways, remember those things. Find ways to build your confidence and don't put yourself into a situation that you can't get out of. And those 2 things combined, I think will really help you if you think about it. So, anyways, not my typical video, and I'm not an expert by any fucking means, but hopefully that shit helps. All right. See you guys soon. Go grab a bubbly.
Yeah. I hope that helped y'all. And like I said, man, the right people, they're not gonna use you, they're not gonna judge you. Fuck what anyone else thinks. Bring your car. Stop doing favors for people that don't do shit for you in return and only ask for favors. make sure you don't drunk drive. Don't end up in situations that you can't get out of. Really think twice about your actions before you do them, like getting shit faced and saying a bunch of shit that you're gonna regret or anything like that, man. Really go to therapy. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to really help you. Stay tuned. I have more videos coming for y'all soon. And don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and share.